You don't have a baseball player body.
No.
That's a fact.
And that's my issue, probably. That's probably my issue. I got more of the Cecil Fielder body than I do the Greg Maddox body. You know what I'm saying?
Cecil Fielder was 6'5".
Cecil wasn't that tall.
I think he was.
No. Cecil Fielder was maybe 6 foot tall.
He was 6'3". He's 6'3". 230 pounds.
He was only 230 pounds?
That's according to Wikipedia, or the Baseball Reference, which is pretty good.
Because he seemed a little heavier than 230.
6'3". 6'3". You're Dustin Pedroia height with Cecil Fielder.
No.
You're a mixture of...
No, I'm not Dustin Pedroia. I'm taller than Dustin Pedroia, pal. I'm 5'10".
How tall do you think
I'm
Dustin
5'10".
Pedroia is?
5'6", 5'7".
There's no way you're 5'10". I'm 5'10".
No, I'm 5'10". Just was measured at the doctor's office, as a matter of fact.
Dustin Pedroia is 5'9".
Yeah, so I'm taller than Dustin Pedroia. Got him. Yeah. Got him by an inch.
Like the average height in baseball for non-pitchers is like 6'2". I don't think people really understand that. So, but average pitchers' height is like 6'3".
And then you got Aaron Judge, who's 6'9", and is slow.
Sure.
So
sure.
Hey, let's take a break. We'll come back more with Galen Unall right after this timeout. 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA.
By the way,
the Source.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Are you or your loved one being released from a hospital and wondering how you'll manage? Inform your physician that you want to go to Palm Garden of Ocala at 2700 Southwest 34th Street for your rehabilitation. Palm Garden provides pain management, post-discharge follow-up, diabetic care, psychosocial support, and so much more. Plus, they even offer outpatient rehab. This award-winning care facility has a team of licensed professionals dedicated to enhancing your independence. Call 352-854-6262 today.
Are you wasting time boxing up packages and going to the post office or the UPS store? Are you tired of not knowing what you'll pay when you get there? Just Ship offers pickup service and flat rate packaging and postage rates, which takes the guesswork out of shipping while saving you time and money. So quit wasting valuable time and money. Call or text Just Ship at 352-234-3840. That's 352-234-3840. Just Shipped.
Now you've done it. Have you lost your mind? He's back. And you're listening again. A legend in his own mind. Don't believe me? Just ask him. Here's Tom Schmitz live on WOCA. The Source.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. Galen, on the line with us, brought to you by folks that Just Shipped, Penn Flooring and Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center. Galen, the baseball playoffs are well underway now. We've talked about how I don't necessarily like that my Atlanta Braves, who only won 87 games, kind of get a pass of having to play their way into the playoffs. Now I heard yesterday that there is talk from some of the teams that they're going to approach the commissioner's office about addressing that exact situation. But lo and behold, the teams that are doing it are the Giants and the Dodgers. No surprise there.
Yeah, I'm always amazed that people they hate the rules after the rules have been voted on and agreed upon and everybody's on the same page, right? Everybody knew this was going to be this new playoff system. Nobody complained about it 2 years ago when they voted on it, right? It's always
hindsight. Nobody knew there was going to be 107. Nobody knew there was going to be 107 and 106 game winner.
Yeah, because it's happened before, Tom.
I know.
There was a time when the Red Sox and the Yankees had the two best records in baseball by like 15 games, and only one of them made the playoffs. not a new dilemma.
It's really not. But, I mean, and like you said, how are you going to go back? You knew this was happening 2 years ago. All the teams voted on it, voted in the positive. And now because there's 107 and 106 game winner, they're like, oh, no, we need to change this. It's not fair that the NL East, the only 87 wins, doesn't have to do a play-in game. And the Dodgers, with 106 wins, had to be in a play-in game. And then the play-in game puts them against the 107-win Giants teams. So the two teams with the best record, one of them's not going to get out of divisional series because they're playing each other.
Well, and don't forget to put the Padres in there too. So, but again, that's just the way that's the way it works. Happens in football too, by the way.
Yeah.
With
7 and 9 teams that win their division make the playoffs.
Correct. Right. So again, just win your division, take care of it. And by the way, the Giants were a better baseball team this year, on the field, not on paper, but on the field. And let's see, now the Dodgers, guess what? They're on even footing right now, right? They got 5 games. They got 5 games to win 3. They're on even footing.
And that's all it takes, 5 games to win 3. Everybody's even now. You got what you needed, playoff wise. You got and by the way, I think the best teams are in the playoffs. I think that there's a lot to be said. Matter of fact, somebody asked me last night why I would think this because I'm a homer, and I go, no, I think this because of the situation. I think Snedeker should get serious consideration as manager of the year because his number 1 player goes down while they're with a losing record. 3rd or 4th place in the NL East, and all they do after losing their best player is the Atlanta Braves come back, albeit a weak NL East, but they still came back and won the East and are in the playoffs after losing their best player at a time when they were 7 games out with a losing record. So I think that was a great managerial job by Snedeker.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right on that. I think he has to be the NL manager of the year. AL Manager of the Year probably go to the Rays. They've done a phenomenal job.
I was watching that game last night, and I know that you prefer sometimes or most of the time to turn the volume down. But I was watching it with the volume up, and they were talking about the longest tenured player, and I forget his name. He's been there for 9 years, and his name just escaped my head right here. It's Rainier or something like that. But anyway, with the Rays,
Rays?
Yeah, for the Rays. He's been there 9 years. He's the longest tenured Ray that there is by 5 years. By 4 years. And they talked about the turnover of the last 10 years, how the Rays of 7 of the last 10 years have made the playoffs. And the average length of stay on the Rays team is 4.1 years. And they've still been Major League
right.
Length.
Yeah.
Right. So the fact that they're turning over that roster so often and still competing and making the playoffs and getting to World Series, they went for about an inning and a half talking about what you and I have already said is the best farm system, bar none, in all of Major League Baseball.
Well, no, I'm not going to say that. Not the farm system. They have the best scouting program. Because they sign a lot of guys off of other major league rosters. You go up and down it. Now, there's only a handful that are actually came out of the Rays system. A lot of these guys they went and picked up, in the
they get them
draft.
They get them do trades for trading off good prospects and stuff.
Correct.
But they use their farm system.
Draft.
Their farm system is so good that other teams want people off of it and give them players.
Absolutely. Right. You look at their shortstop, Franco. My gosh. Arizonera. I don't know how to say his name. I think that's it. But those are the 2 guys who stole the show last night. Arizona, stealing home. I don't know what the pitcher was doing. Franco getting that huge RBI to get them to a 1-0 lead. So yeah, I mean those 2 guys right there are from their farm system. I know this. The Cham Bloom, who's the GM for the Red Sox, came from the Rays, and he said Wander Franco is the best player he has seen, a prospect he's ever seen. And he's been with the Rays for 20 years. I mean, he's been in the game for a very, very long time, and he speaks volumes of that guy. So that guy's going to get paid. He'll end up being a Yankee. He's pretty much already said that he wants to go to the Yankees.
Well,
they got him for another 3 years.
I'm a firm believer.
Unbelievable.
I'm a firm believer that everybody's desire is to one day wear the pinstripes, and not because they love the pinstripes, not because they love the Yankees, but because they know that the Steinbrenner family will pay you.
Well, I think that's huge, but it's not everybody is cut out to play in the big bright cities of Boston and New York, right? Those two cities can kill a player. Ask anybody that has ever signed from the Rays to go play for Boston. Any of them, Carl Crawford, Price. We could go down the list a long ways, and they fail miserably in the bright lights. So not everybody's cut out for it. And a lot of people would much rather play in L.A. or San Francisco, where you can get those same dollars. So.
Well, and Magic Johnson was at the game last night, and I just remembered as I'm watching him, this is a team that they paid $2 billion for, but sure. It wasn't that big of a gamble because they knew there was a $4 billion TV contract already signed that they were going to take possession of too. So when you talk about money, you're right. The Dodgers and the Giants can throw the same kind of money, and the Red Sox, by the way, can throw the same kind of money at people that the Yankees can.
Well, and they can take risks that the Rays can't, and I think that's what's so impressive is the Rays take these risks, and everybody else is like, oh, that's an interesting. Like when they signed Cruz, I'm like, I can't believe they signed Cruz. Nobody wants this guy. The Red Sox could have had him, right? They had no, they didn't. They're like, oh, we don't need that guy. Nelson Cruz, what's he done?
Just beating the ball all over the yard in the second half of the season. That's all.
He's 41. Tom, he's 41 years old.
I know.
The Red Sox are like, we're good. And the Rays signed him in spring training. They're like, yeah, come play for us. Right? And he has been nothing but a powerhouse and at the center of that lineup. And I think he's been a really, really good presence for some of those young guys because he is a professional hitter. Right? He knows how to handle a starting pitcher and a relief pitcher and how to set them up, and it's pretty evident. So it's been impressive. And, Zunino, the kid from Florida who was drafted, I think he was drafted by the Padres, if I remember right.
Was it Zunino? I thought
he's a guy.
Was it the Padres?
I thought Mariners. Maybe it was the Mariners.
I thought it was the Mariners, yeah.
So, because he was like the third overall pick. And, he just falls in the Rays' lap, and he's become another bats last in the lineup, but manages that, and there's the most underrated stat that has ever been created is catcher ERA. It's a fairly new stat, and it doesn't have a lot of hype, but catcher ERA is incredible, and it's basically what is the ERA of a pitching staff with this guy as the catcher, and he has the lowest catcher ERA in the game of baseball. That's all. So
that's pretty big. I didn't even know that stat.
Important.
I didn't even know that stat existed, but that's a pretty big stat.
But I was listening to a podcast, and it's obviously about the Red Sox, and they were talking about how the Red Sox are just absolutely in love with Christian Velasquez, who's our catcher, and they got rid of two guys who had their ERA, their catcher ERA one of them was 2 points lower than Velasquez, and the other one was like 0.75 lower. And the Red Sox just don't care about that. They needed a bat because they thought Christian Velasquez was a better bat. So, but to me, those kinds of things are incredibly important.
So we got about a minute and a half before the break, and that's why I like to bring up these kind of teases is because it gets you fired up, and there's nothing you can do about it until after the break. But You brought up Nelson Cruz, the 41-year-old professional hitter. He got credit for a home run last night in the third inning.
Yeah.
He hit a bomb, or did he?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
it
God,
seems like
that ball was gone.
the ball fell into the field of play in front of the outfilders who were who weren't at the fence yet, but yet it was ruled a home run. I'll ask you why that's okay.
No-doubter.
Why that's okay by you, even though it's in a park.
I can tell you right now, they play in the worst stadium on the planet. How much more are we going to talk about the Tropicana Field?
It's a great baseball park. It's a great baseball park.
Oh, geez, you and I, if we were like, oh, we're in the wiffle ball championship, and we walked out there going, oh, this place is a dump.
Here's
wiffle ball championship.
Here's what got me, and I'll just leave it at that. That ball could have banged around and ended up at second base, and they'd have still called it a home run, because that was a home run.
Yeah,
when he hit it, that was a home run. You knew it was a home run.
Right. Yeah.
But it hit the light ring, and you loved that light ring, and it bounced around the light ring and then came down 20, 30 feet in front of the wall instead of behind the wall for a home run.
He could have picked it up at second base.
He could have
crossed second base and landed like 20 feet from it.
He could have picked it up. He could have picked it up by second base. We'll take a break. Come back more with Galen Unall from Life South on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Radio News with Lance Pry.
Democrat Senator Joe Manchin could not bear to watch Democrat Senator Chuck Schumer's GOP trashing floor speech Thursday night after advancing the debt ceiling with help from the Republicans.
Leader McConnell and Senate Republicans insisted they wanted a solution to the debt ceiling, but said Democrats must raise it alone by going through a drawn-out, convoluted, and risky reconciliation process. That was simply unacceptable to my caucus. And yesterday, Senate Republicans finally realized that their obstruction was not going to work.
Manchin covered his face and ultimately walked out during Schumer's political rant. Weather is going to be the big story next week as a massive energy system will move into the western United States, dropping the first snows of the season,